is a gorgeous Sunday in Charlotte. We welcome you to sold-out Bank of America Stadium. The 2-2 Chicago Bears come to town to take on the 2-2 Carolina Panthers. And hi again, everybody. Reeves, a rookie, an undrafted rookie. Out of Alabama, Birmingham. They fake it to him, and Newton looking down the field, and it is caught by Jericho Cotchery. And that is a first down, a gain of 15. But let's look at the running back situation. No Williams, no Stewart, no Tolbert.
If you look at this, all three running backs out, and that was something coming in that they thought was the strength of this Carolina offense. We're looking at three guys right here, which two of them have not had a carry in a Panthers uniform. So these guys are going to have to come up big to take some pressure off of Cam Newton today.
Reeves had 10 rushes, 26 yards against Baltimore after the injuries continued to pile up a week and a half ago. Blitz coming, they pick it up, and it's incomplete. Jennings step for step with Cotchery, second down and 10. Panthers lost 3 wide receivers, including the best in the franchise's history in Steve Smith during the offseason. Brandon LaFell went on to New England. Ted Ginn Jr. now in Arizona. They brought in Cotchery. They brought in another veteran in Jason Avant to go with their #1 pick, Kelvin Benjamin. The NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Month in September. Reeves for 3. It'll bring up third down and 7.
This is a situation that Cam Newton and this offense talked about earlier, keeping themselves in those third and short situations because it's aggressive defense. And Mel Tucker, this coordinator for the Bears, these third and long situations, 7+, this is when he wants to be aggressive, and look out because this is when he's going to blitz.
Well, they spotted it only a gain of 2, so it is third down and 8. Four-man rush. Newton gets it away. And incomplete. That looked like a catch that could have been made by Jason or Jay Cutler and the Chicago Bears. A penalty wipes out what would have been a starting field position at the 34. They give it to Matt Forte, and he's bottled up maybe for a 1-yard loss by big Colin Cole. Jay Cutler virtually owns every Bears passing record through his first 5 years, and another through the first 4 games of this season. 10 touchdowns, although he has thrown 4 interceptions, and all 4 have come in the 2 Bear losses, which strangely enough, both of their losses have come at Soldier Field. Both of their wins have come on the road. Forte again. And again, nowhere to go. Let's check in on Cam Newton's condition with Laura Oakman.
Looks good right now, already with that bad ankle we talked about and the rib injury. Trainers just addressed that right elbow of his, put a bandage on it, a sleeve over that. He was over there throwing with the Panthers head trainer. Looked like he got a thumbs up, and he's back over right now looking over the pictures.
All right, Laura, thank you. Third down and 9.
As a defense here, be alert for the screen or draw.
Inside handoff to Forte, and it looks like he'll be about a yard and a half short of a first down. We will wait officially on the spot. The pile began moving forward, but they spot it short, and it's 3 and out for Chicago.
You know, Carolina's happy with this start, getting the Chicago Bears backed up after that penalty. This is the way that they wanted to start. They want to start fast. They want to be able to be aggressive, but they do not want to let Matt Forte get going because they know what that does for this Bears offense.
Forte had a monster game last week against Green Bay when Chicago ran for 235 yards. Big punt by Patrick O'Donnell. And Philly Brown hit, and that'll be a 15-yard penalty. Ball is picked up, and streaking down the sideline is Philly Brown, and it is a touchdown. Now there are flags on the play, but it will
Brown to pick that up and continue to go.
Williams, just signed by the Bears, comes flying down the field. Butler and the Bears went 3 and out their first possession, and they'll throw it on first down here. Forte, and the man, who else would it be besides the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL, Luke Kuechly. Offensive line of the Bears, a big story today, David.
And it should be a big story. Last year, this was a group that started the entire season together to have that continuity. Now with Michael Ola, now at left tackle, we're going to have to really watch this Bears offensive line to make sure, like we said earlier, to get the run game going, keep themselves out of 3rd and long situations against this aggressive defense for Carolina.
Made a 3, second down and 7. Swinging out once more to Forte. And run out of bounds. And let's send it back to Los Angeles, our first game from David. All right, Kurt, thank you very much. Here we go. Another 3rd down for the Bears. 3rd down and 3.
Showing blitz with these 2 linebackers mugged up over the center here.
It's Davis and Kuechly. And Kuechly's coming. Bears pick it up. Throw down the sideline, and what a catch made by Alshon Jeffrey. Man, when Jeffrey and Marshall are healthy, is there a better receiving duo in the NFL?
First down.
Down here at the bottom of the screen, we're going to see Jeffrey. He's going to break it off, get that outside. You can see the hold, the hands. They said 5 yards. They're going to throw that every single time. Look at that hand and eye coordination. These 6'4", 6'5" guys.
First and 5, and Forte cuts it back to the inside. Bounces to the outside, and that's a first down to the 29-yard line.
Going to see a double team here by the right guard and the right tackle, Mills. They hope that they can get quicker up to that second level, but look at Forte, able to make that first man miss. His elusiveness, his ability to be patient in holes, that's the strength to Matt Forte.
Kadeem Carey, the rookie out of Arizona, checks into the backfield, and they give him the ball. And he is wrapped up and tackled by Norman. Carey had 2 carries in the first 3 games of the year, 14 of them. 9 on the final drive after the game had pretty much been wrapped up by Green Bay last week. But this Forte is some kind of back. Very good success against Carolina when he's faced him. Of course, he's had great success against virtually everybody he goes up against. 7th year out of Tulane. Blitz coming. Boy, Kuechly just ran through Carey, and it gave his other defensive teammates time to get to the quarterback. First one there was Davis, had help from Wes Horton.
This was a design blitz. They see Martellus Bennett came across this offense to the other side. So Luke Kuechly here is going to come free, lays the hit, allows that to open up everything. Horton coming off of the edge, seeing Cutler step up. That's what they need to do on this defensive side of the ball to continue that pressure on Jay Cutler.
And that's something neither one of these teams have done very well, and that is put pressure on the quarterback. 3rd down and 12. They need to get to the 19. Blitz coming again off the corner. Cutler gets it away, and it is intercepted. Tipped ball and picked off by Roman Harper, and he still has the football. Flags down. And dropped right at midfield. It's really impossible to tell exactly how the elbow is cut on that hit, his last throw. Nowhere to go for Darren Reeves. And here's a hit on third down.
Cam Newton stepping up in the pocket. You really see this Bears defense funneling in to make sure that they keep him contained. But we can't have that. Cam Newton getting those hits as a Carolina offense, and as a fan watching this game, those are the hits that you can't see your quarterback take, especially if you're going to run the zone read with him in this game.
You see the rushing attempts, 8 of them. He's been sacked 9 times, and Laura talked about it earlier. As Newton throws to the one-time Bear, former #1 pick Greg Olsen, but Carolina has run the football so well for so long. But you think about Newton accounting for 33% of their rushing numbers since he's become a Carolina Panther. 1/3 of their rushing yards. This year he has 1% of their rushing yards.
Well, everybody talked about coming off of the ankle surgery and the injury, that things were going to be slow to start. But don't let that fool you. Cam Newton may act like he has an injury, but next thing you know, he's turning one down the sidelines for a 50-yard gain.
Chris Obanaya, former Cleveland Brown, just signed this week, checks into the backfield. And that is the rookie Benjamin. Looked like he had it jarred loose. Caught it, came down. Did he fumble it? Or are they saying he is down? We wait. This could be a big call. Bears are pointing it belongs to them.
The ball was completed to Carolina and fumbled. First down, Chicago.
There's your answer.
It looks like Fry is the one. No clear fact. Fumbled. Bears possession.
9th takeaway by the Chicago defense this season. They turned the prior 8 into 35 points. That one is tipped to the line of scrimmage, and very lucky not to have that one intercepted. It was Charles Johnson, who has had a very quiet year in the absence of his running mate Greg Hardy.
See it just thrown right at him, gets those hands up as a defensive lineman. No, and it's a good thing he did, because if he didn't get that hand on that ball, Rosario had a clear lane down the seam right there.
Panthers defense sacked quarterback 61 times a season ago. And of course, here without Hardy, will be facing a trial, domestic abuse trial. That's Brandon Marshall. Inside the 15, down to the 10-yard line. First down, Chicago Bears.
You're going to see him one-on-one here. He's going to run that inside shallow crossing route. He beats that press off the line, off of Kaysen, gets it across, gets that first down, and look at his ability to get those extra yards after that catch.
Well, he pronounced himself for the first time all year at 100% perfect health. He injured his right ankle in week 1 and has played through that injury, including a 3-touchdown game in a win at San Francisco. Forte to the end zone, and the Bears on the board.
Do a great job here of making it look like a little kick protection. Get Bennett out of there. You know, just hit him on that inside. And that's something Forte is known for. His ability to catch the ball out of the backfield like a wide receiver. To have a complete back like this in the backfield, this is something that a lot of NFL teams are missing. A guy who can be in first, second, and third down. You don't have to.
Newton throws it into traffic, and it's incomplete. Let's check in back in LA with Kurt Menefee. Second down and 10. Newton pitches on the option to Philly Brown, and that is a first down up to the 34-yard line. Philly Brown was not drafted despite having a couple of outstanding seasons at Ohio State last year, but he's a smaller receiver, and they're utilizing him in the run game here for the first time.
They sure are. If they can use him in the run game, you see him coming over on motion like a ghost, like he's going to run a reverse. Having him being able to do that, having him come over on a fake reverse, keeps that backside defensive end and linebacker honest so that now they can try to crease inside with those zone runs.
Made a 14 for Brown. They'll throw it on first down, and the ball is loose. Stripped by Willie Young. Scramble for the football, and the Bears recovered. It's tough to tell, and they have. What a pickup Willie Young is turning out to be for these Chicago Bears.
Willie Young actually beats 2 offensive linemen on that. He beats the left tackle and then the left guard to slip through on that, be able to cause that sack, force fumble right there, and get another turnover for this Chicago Bears defense. There it is. Gets that paw out there, gets that arm down. That's what this Bears defense wants to do. They want to be aggressive, and this is what they've always been known for, their ability to create turnovers.
They spent all that money in free agency on Jared Allen and Lamar Houston. And the guy who's having by far the best season along their defensive line is Willie Young.
He had career highs last year in Detroit in pretty much every single category. So he needs to step up, because if we've seen Jared Allen today, he does not look like the way he's been regular season.
Pneumonia missed a game last week, lost over 15 pounds. They give it to Forte, and just nowhere to go. Slowed down initially by Johnson. Payson to tackle him. Second down. Well, you know, if you're a gambling man, and there might be a few out there, if you don't have a rushing touchdown, it stands to reason they're probably going to throw the ball, right?
Well, you would say that, considering they had success doing it down here in the red zone. But I still believe Matt Forte is the key for this offense.
Cutler looking around, gives it to Forte. And he is shot down, upended by Josh Norman, and Norman's shaken up. Carolina defense not very stingy in the red zone. Opponents 11 trips, they've scored 9 touchdowns.
Look at Matt Forte down here as at a wide receiver position.
4-man rush, and Cutler scrambling. He can run the ball, and he will find the end zone. A touchdown for Jay Cutler. That is one of the more underrated parts of Cutler's game. He is a very good runner.
He most certainly is a very good runner, and you're going to see Matt Forte, who was lined up out there as a wide receiver, actually come back and lay that block for Cutler to get that touchdown. Doesn't force anything, sees nobody's open, takes that run. Look at Forte get that key block. Touchdown Chicago, all off of that turnover.
First rushing touchdown of the season on the 100 and first down, and this is Obadiah, his first carry as a Carolina Panther. Tripped up to the 28-yard line by Lance Briggs. Last time they lost 2 fumbles in an opening stanza 13 years ago, spanning better than 200 games.
That's something that you don't want to rehash, that's for sure, especially with how important this game is for your team at home. You and I both know this stretch that they're going to have is not easy.
Oh boy, you're not lying. Second down. Newton. Tipped into the air by Briggs and nearly intercepted by Jennings. He had an eye on Olsen. Let's check in back in LA with Joel Klatt beating Stanford. Third down, blitz coming. And the throw is dropped in the hands of Benjamin, and it may have been straight to do, although his first chance today, he had an excellent return. It was called back on a penalty. Holmes all the way back to the 10-yard line. And a good return here by Holmes. That's a 22-yard return by Santonio Holmes. So this is like vintage Chicago Bears football.
The ball, that's when you're going to see how dynamic our offense can be and give them that big playability.
Cutler wanting that football before the play clock expired, gets it away, and very close to a first down. Former Panther tight end Dante Rosario, gain of 9. Bears really haven't had to do a whole lot as far as moving the football is concerned. I mean, they have under 100 yards of offense. They've had short fields twice, touchdowns twice.
Got to give the defense a lot of credit for the field position that they've been giving them. And also Santonio Holmes with the great return here to be able to get them to the 40 now and continue to keep this Bears offense in stride.
Sean Norman walking off the field. They hand it off to Forte. And he has a first down up to the 48-yard line on what may be the final play of this opening quarter. And our entire Fox crew, Tom Brenneman with you from Charlotte. First down, the screen to Forte with blockers in front. That'll be a gain of 5 on first down. Let's check in with Laura Hogan.
Thanks, Tom. I have a Josh Norman update. It's in the locker room right now. They're calling it a shoulder injury. His return's questionable. He was doing work with trainers and the doctors, kind of pointing to his neck, shoulder, possibly that stinger area, looking like that's what it was, but they're calling it a shoulder, and his return is questionable. Chris Conte for the Bears is still in the locker room being evaluated for concussion. I'll update you on that as we get more information.
Boy, thank you very much. Well, they spotted just inside the 49, so it'll be second and a long 6. Blitz coming. And look at the open running room for Cutler. Slides down to the 35 for a first down.
Bears do a very good job of communicating. You can hear him before the snap, picking up this blitz. But the way that they both blitz, both double-A gap by Thomas and Kuechly either side, it just opens up that natural running lane for Jay Cutler to take it right down the center, to take that first down, but also not take a hit. He slides, gets down, doesn't take that contact. First down for the Bears.
Cutler is their leading carrier so far today. 2 rushes, 23 yards, and a touchdown. Forte, good running room. And that is another Chicago first down to the 23.
That's what you love about Matt Forte. Just look at his patience before he hits the hole. He lets his tight ends get involved. He lets his offensive linemen work their double teams. And then from there, if you give him that opening, he is going to make the most of each and every play and get as many yards as he can. The best thing he always does towards the end is tucks that ball away. He always puts that ball away.
Forte ranks second and second only. The great Walter Payton. Rushing yards from scrimmage in Bears history. And they'll try and add to it, and will. Flag down.
Jumping.
Touchdown was on basically a screen set up to Forte. Just like this right here, just a quick little slant, and Kuechly read it beautifully. It's a good play right there by Kuechly.
Just an instinctive football player. You know that he's a student of the game right here. He's got his eyes out there. He sees Matt Forte. He sees it coming in. He sees the guard coming out. Kyle Long is able to slide underneath it and still make that open field tackle. That's why he was the defensive player of the year last year.
Yeah, rookie of the year 2 years ago, defensive player of the year last year. The only player besides Kuechly and Luke in history to do that. Lawrence Taylor with the New York Giants. Martellus Bennett, and that is Kuechly right there with him, step for step.
It's back-to-back plays right there for Luke Kuechly. Same as we've seen before. They had Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly up in there looking like they were blitzing, him able to get out and still make that play at the sidelines on Bennett. And then look at the Look at the crowd and the people that he's with right now.
Yeah, the difference between Kuechly, Taylor, and then Watt is Kuechly and Taylor are the only two to win Rookie of the Year and then Defensive Player of the Year in their first 2 seasons in the league. Third down, Cutler into the hands of Jeffrey. First down and a touchdown for Alshon Jeffrey. Beautifully designed play, beautifully executed play. Got the block from Martellus Bennett, his tight end. 25-yard touchdown.
Going to see Jeffrey right here, but watch Martellus Bennett come out here and really, boom, gets that block. Marshall upfield gets the second block. When you have wide receivers who are able to block downfield like this, sustain it, not only in the passing game, but a good sign of what this Bears offense is looking to do today.
Well, they hand it off to Ogbonnaya. We mentioned it. He was just signed this week. Spent last year in Cleveland, where he ran for 240 yards, caught 48 passes out of the backfield. But again, the Panthers without their all-time leading rusher, DeAngelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, a one-time Pro Bowl 1,000-yard rusher, and Mike Tolbert, all 3 injured today.
And so far through the first quarter, going in here to the second, you can see it's clearly had an impact on this offense.
Newton is able to find Ed Dixon, and that's a first down up to the 31, and we send it back to Los Angeles and Joel Klatt. First down at 10. And Newton will throw. Batted down at the line of scrimmage. Let's check in downstairs with Laura.
Tom, we talked to defensive coordinator for the Bears, Mel Tucker, this week. The Bears defense has a goal board each week. This week, number 1 was get a win. It always is. Number 2, takeaways. That is being preached this entire game. That's all that Mel Tucker is saying as he walks up and down this Bears sideline. Takeaway, takeaway, takeaway. Every time that defense gets back on the field.
Well, Mel Tucker, last year's first season, the Bears set a franchise record for most yards allowed in a season. And the first month in September has not been much better. So they're hoping today might be the start of things. In fairness to Tucker, and it's been written about and talked about in Chicago ad nauseum. You know, oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes you get what you pay for. The Bears are spending more than double the amount of money on their offense than they are spending on their defense.
And think about the injuries that they had along the defensive line all of last season.
Yep.
I mean, it was a D-line by committee. They were bringing people off of the street towards the end. So to have that stability would really help this defense.
And they've had injured starters already this year. Allen, Rattler, McClellan, and Tillman. Third down, all day to throw. And that'll be a first down catch by Benjamin, and he's across midfield. Kelvin Benjamin grew up chasing rabbits in Belle Glade, Florida. That's a big man.
Here he is at the bottom of the screen. See him against Fuller. He's going to run, snap it off, come back to the football. Gets Fuller back on his heels. Look at the size difference of this matchup right here. We've got 5'11" against 6'5".
Benjamin went to Florida State as a freshman, weighing 255 pounds as a wide receiver. It's a pretty good carry right there by Ogbonnaya, tripped up by Jonathan Bostic. When's the last time you saw a receiver go 255?
I don't think I've ever seen a receiver that's 255 pounds, but when we were out of practice, you could just see how you see it as a number, but when you see him on the field, you really see how big of a football player that he is and the size difference that he brings to this game when you're playing up against smaller defensive backs.
By far the most impressive drive of the day for this Carolina offense. Got a 6-yard run out of Ogbonnaya. They'll give it back to him, but not much room this time, maybe a yard. It brings up third down for Carolina. Ego Ferguson, the rookie, on the stop.
Big third down here for Carolina.
And it's stunning that Benjamin's standing on the sideline.
He's a player who just got you the first down the series before.
So maybe he was shaken up. Carolina 1 out of 4 on third down. Bunch formation. And a throw right there. And again, it is Dixon. One-time outstanding tight end. When he's healthy, he's a good one.
He most certainly is, and they need another tight end. When Greg Olsen gets the amount of attention that he gets as a tight end, you have to have somebody else come in here.
And Olsen limping off the field.
Cam Newton making his reads, going through his progressions. You see Greg Olsen go down and looks like an ankle.
Saw him fall down right in the middle of the field. Former #1 pick by the Bears.
That is something Cam Newton does not want to see.
One way, the other way to Philly Brown. A block by Newton on Lance Briggs. Oh my. I'm excited about it.
What a block. Get it to Reeves, to Philly Brown. Lays that hit. Good block there by Khalil. There it is. You want to get your quarterback involved, not necessarily in that way.
No.
But he always said, I'm a football player. I'm not just a quarterback, and I'm going to do whatever I can on the football field to help us win. He clearly showed it there.
Well, but that's throwing your right throwing shoulder into Lance Briggs. Second down. Very close to a first down. DJ Williams on the stop. As Darren Reeves comes back. And, you know, Olsen, the former general manager of the Bears, who drafted Olsen, Jerry Angelo said point blank this week, we made a terrible mistake by trading Greg Olsen to Carolina. They got a third-round pick for him back in 2011.
Yeah, you could sit here and say woulda, shoulda, coulda, and he would have definitely been an impact player for this team. He's one of Jay Cutler's best friends, so that was tough for him. But he said 4 years down the road, it's worked out for me and it's worked out for the Bears.
Look into the end zone, and it was batted down.
Ego Ferguson getting that hand up in that throwing lane.
He had an eye on Brandon Williams, tight end who checked in for the injured Greg Olsen.
They always say as a defensive line, if you feel that you can't get there with your rush, if you see that quarterback plant his feet in the ground, get your eyes on his eyes and get those hands up.
Under 5 minutes to go here in the opening half. 12th play of the drive. Spanning almost 6 minutes. Pump fake. And again, batted down and into the arms of Lance Briggs. That is an interception. And what a time to get their third forced turnover of the game for the Chicago Bear defense. And it looked like Ferguson, again, the man who tipped the ball.
Looks like Ferguson was at the nose tackle again. Sees his eyes, gets his hand up in that throwing lane. So Cam Newton has to make sure he's scanning the field to make sure these D-linemen don't get that feed.
Forte, not much there. Bring up second down and 15 for the Chicago Bears. Of course, Mark Trestman, 58 years old, grew up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in his second year as head coach of the Bears. 17 years he's been in the NFL. 5 years prior to coming to Chicago, head coach in the Canadian Football League, where he won back-to-back Grey Cup championships with the Montreal Alouettes. Considered one of the great offensive minds in football for a long time. Forte, wrapped up by Kuechly. Well, there was a fascinating story written in Chicago this week about Kuechly and how Jim Morrissey, the former Chicago Bear linebacker and teammate of Ron Rivera, Morrissey's son played and roomed with Luke Kuechly at Boston College. Morrissey called during Kuechly's senior year Rivera on the phone and said, remember Mike Singletary? We played with him. Said, remember Brian Urlacher? You coached him. He said, this guy right now is as good as either one of them, if not better.
And he's proven it in his first 3 years in the NFL, that's for sure.
Screen to Forte. Davis lost him. He breaks a tackle for a first down and more. Forte along the sideline. And finally run out of bounds at the 25. Broke a big tackle from Thomas Davis, and that was all she wrote.
Great design here. They're going to keep Matt Forte in here and make him look like he's looking for a blitz pickup to check. They get him out. They slip him out on that screen. Offensive linemen get body on body. Matt Forte once again showing why he's has the yardage and the production that he's had in Chicago Bears history. But as a Carolina Panthers defense right now, the one thing you have to say going into this halftime, we need to wrap up. We need to do a better job of making tackles.
Forte was slow to get up, and so Kadeem Carey comes in, and he is level. That was Davis. That was a guy who just missed a tackle. Well, they're going to take a long look over there at Forte. Look what he has done already today.
16 touches. The rest of the team 12. Is he important for this game plan? Yeah, I'd say so.
Well, if they're looking at a hand, that's a lot better news than anywhere else.
You could say that, but you're talking about a running back here that's holding the football.
Good point.
So that's the last thing that you want is a hand injury.
Well, better that than a knee injury.
Agreed.
Butler. To Dante Rosario. That's inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line. It'll bring up third. 3rd and 3.
Watch this blitz. Ben Wickery. Well, he stays.
Butler tried to jam it in there to Bennett, covered by Kuechly. And out comes
points in the red zone. 80% touchdowns, but 100% points.
Ball to 25. 1:51 to play until halftime. And the Panthers with all 3 timeouts remaining. That is Olsen back into the game. He left. Looked like he rolled over an ankle or a foot injury on the last series, and that's a first down, a gain of 12 up to the 37-yard line. Laura Oakman telling us they tape that ankle up, and right back in goes Olsen, who's playing in his 115th consecutive game today. Right down the middle of the field, and that is Jason Avant to the 42. Clock running down to 1:11.
Now, as a Bears defense, you know you don't want to give up the big play, but you can't keep giving up big chunks of offense like this. You still got to play aggressive. You still got to play your defense.
Fake the handoff, slant to Avant. First down to the 20-yard line.
Carolina, this is when we've really actually been able to see some form of identity from this team.
Without their top 3 running backs. Williams, Stewart, Tolbert all down. And looking for Benjamin, who got turned around. There was some contact down there near the end zone. No penalty flag.
So Kelvin Benjamin right here. Gets that release, gets it inside. Looks like he just couldn't find that football. It got thrown to his back shoulder. He had to turn around to try getting it. Got to give full credit on that defense.
Four-man rush. Newton to Cotchery, and he dives forward. Very close to a first down. And that clock continues to run. 30 seconds. Panthers have 2 timeouts left. Boy, they're burning a lot of time here. And this is a 3rd down. I mean, you can't just spike the ball here. And Newton's going to run it and then call a timeout. So they almost burned a full 20 seconds. after the plays for the Panthers. He's their offensive coordinator. First and goal. Newton to the end zone, and that is a touchdown for Greg Olsen. We got a ball game. First down. Cutler out of the shotgun. And I mean, his money man all day today has been Forte. Some of the numbers in the first half. Forte ran for 35 of their 59. And Forte on the receiving end, 93 yards of their 176.
It just goes to show you what he means to this football team. And I think last week, you know, having him getting the carries that he had, having the production, that's really led into this week in the offense production, obviously, by the Bears.
They hand it to Forte, who spins out of a tackle and is short of the first down. They needed to get to the 30. So right from the get-go, you have a third down. Carolina at the end of the half, the momentum had the pendulum swing back their way, getting down that touchdown. And now it is a third down on the opening possession of this second half.
Well, if they can get a 3 and out, that's what this Carolina defense wants to change this momentum of this game.
Jeffrey, and he has a first down. Charles Godfrey getting to start over at that other cornerback, or at least in a nickel situation, to begin this second half. Godfrey, the former safety turned cornerback. Remember, Josh Norman was injured in the first half. So Melvin White, who lost his starting job this week, is back in there now. Underthrown. Almost wonder when you see a pass like that, and maybe first thought is, was it tipped in the line of scrimmage? Didn't look like it.
No, it didn't look like the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. It just looked like it came out of his hand wrong.
Well, that is the kind of throw you never see from Cutler. I mean, this guy has a cannon for an arm. And like you said, maybe he just slipped right out of it.
Yeah, it looks just like when it came out of his hand. It just didn't look like the normal ball that comes out of Jay Cutler spinning.
Screen to Forte. And he's up to the 35-yard line. So now this will be a third down, and let's call it 9.
If you notice this drive, this Carolina defense is doing a better job than they did already in the first half of swarming to the football. When you looked at that one when Forte's getting up, you saw 7-8 Panthers defensive guys around him, and that's what they need to do. They've got to swarm to the ball.
Cutler throws, Martellus Bennett, and short of a first down. A tackle in the open field made by Davis. First time here in the second half. They scored on their final possession of the opening half. Blitz coming. Olsen just sits down in the middle of the field, and that's a big gain. Gain of 16 on first down.
Well, going back to this punt return, Antoine Cason is very lucky that he was able to recover this, because everybody's watching Philly Brown. You see the ball get fumbled, but watch Antoine Cason's eyes. He looks upfield to see if he's going to pick it up and run with it instead of just diving on the ball. They're very lucky they got that one.
Good running room there by Darren Reeves. You know, that was the one part of their last 2 drives, really the second to last drive, which we saw for the first time. Cowboys are playing pretty good football right now, trying to go to 4-1. They will go to Seattle. That game will be on Fox next weekend.
It's definitely helped them the year that DeMarco Murray has running the football.
No question. Second down and a yard. Turn around and give it to Reeves. And he has first down. Just crossed the 40-yard line. Reeves, an undrafted rookie out of UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham. He only started 13 games in college. He entered the draft early. During the preseason, was performing well, but that's a long depth chart at the running back position here in Carolina. Luke looking for Benjamin. Didn't look like he went all the way out to get that football.
No, I think that
maybe heard footsteps.
On that one, usually that's the one that you see that big, tall receiver stretching out those arms. But you can clearly see he feels the presence of McCray coming from the inside out, looking to lay a hit on him.
So second down and 10 for the Panthers. Newton zings it across the middle, and that's the first catch of the day for Brenton Burson. He's a big crowd favorite from nearby Wofford College.
Cam Newton just throws a bullet here to Burson, catches it, gets upfield, gets that first down. And you know, when we talked to Cam Newton, he had nicknames for everybody on that offensive side of the ball, and that was one of the best ones, Lord Farquhar, with that long hair from Shrek. Hilarious.
You wrote down all those nicknames. I want to see some of those. That's into traffic, and boy, Yvonne looking for a flag, and there's not one there. Now here are those nicknames.
Yeah, you got Pinky for D'Angelo Williams. I mean, he's really the one who started the pink. Brisket for Big Byron Bell, a big offensive tackle.
Like
Obi-Wan, I mean, Boucher, that was the fuzzy one, because he thought Fozzie's first name was Bobby for 3 weeks.
That is funny. Second down. Screen to Reeves with blockers in front. Boy, Carolina's starting to move the football. That's a first down. Now, did you tell him starting to heat up ever since? An interception occurred on a tip pass at the line of scrimmage. Reeves again. Theus is powerful running by this young man. And on first down, that's a gain of 8, almost 9. Broke a tackle from Lance Briggs.
Another great run. You're going to see him take his vision, fight through the first tackle, get through the second. Takes 3 men to get him down. Now that's going to give him a lot of confidence moving forward here.
He's averaging 4.5 yards a carry today. He is just pulled down, and we'll see if that's a face mask.
Lance Briggs shoots off the one edge, gets low. You're going to see Christian Jones on top right there. You can't really see it there, but you see his helmet get jerked back. That motion. Let's see. Well, on that one, I don't see it.
Plus, he had a grip on the
side of the helmet. Yeah.
Face mask where they meet. He doesn't seem to be arguing a lot about it.
No.
Of course, what's he going to say? All right, first and goal. Penalty moves the ball to the 7-yard line. Jump ball. And a penalty flag thrown.
Got Kelvin Benjamin at the top of the screen here, running that back fade, getting to that pylon. Fuller getting his hands on him past 5 yards. You know, that physical matchup, but that's what we've been hearing all preseason, all regular season. The emphasis on PI and illegal use of hands.
It's hard to believe that's the first pass interference penalty against the Bears this season. And that is Ogbonnaya into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Chicago with the football at its own 20-yard line. Cutler coming out throwing. And Martellus Bennett the catch. Gain of...
What a great series so far.
And of course, Jordan Wolf, who loves his Dodgers, can't believe what happened in game one. And that's a big carry for Matt Forte. And a late, was that a flag that came in?
Yeah. He set the edge for that offense and for Forte to get outside.
It is Marshall who makes a reception, and another flag. This might be a late hit on Jay Cutler. One short.
Here's the replay. You're going to see him after Cutler gets rid of the ball. Here's short right here, 99. Just that last little push and knockdown. Obviously, each referee, they want to protect the quarterbacks, and you know, that one that's clear, the ball's out of his hands. They're going to throw that every time.
Yep, you're right. First down, they tack on the penalty across into Panthers territory. And play action, Cutler stepping up. Throws to Marshall across the middle, and that's another first down.
Yeah, and that's one of the points that we talked about is, you know, Luke Kuechly coming into this game said, you know, when you're playing up against Jay Cutler in this offense, you may think that you have a guy locked up and you could be body to body next to him and think that you have him clear. See, but he is going to throw that football regardless of whether he sits in the pocket, sits in the zone, whether you're right next to him. Jay Cutler is a gunslinger, sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad. That's when it's for the good right there.
They move the chains, and Forte bouncing off tacklers, took 3 Panthers to drag him down after a gain of 9.
Another nice block by Alshon Jeffrey out there to set the edge to get Forte to slash through and get that upfield first down. Once again, look at the size difference. You're going to see him here. He's going to get up. He's going to get those hands. He's going to keep rerouting, reworking him so he doesn't get that hold call. Sets that edge. It's all you need to do. If you body him up, keep your hand.
Be through being in the huddle after this play. There's a catch, short of a first down, 3rd and a yard. All right, when they're in the huddle and they call the play, where does the snap count come? Well, at the end?
Right now, what they're doing is, as a Bears offensive line, you see Sloss in the guard watching the play clock, making sure that Jay Cutler gets him in the right protections. Once they clear everything up, he's going to tap the center. The center's going to snap it. Problem is that was out there by the tight end. They say, well, we can't see the ball. You're always taught, watch the guy, the adjacent offensive line's hand in front of you. That hand is going to move. That's going to give you the tee to come off on the snap.
Good stuff. 3rd down, and they deny Chicago. Thomas Davis, who missed a big tackle earlier in this one, when Forte had the big run, does not miss a tackle. 7 carries, 26 yards in this one for Reeves. And Newton to throw on first down. Wide open down the middle of the field is Cotchery. And let's go downstairs to hear more about Cam Newton from Laura Oakman.
Tom, we're seeing what guys have been saying all week about Cam. They've never seen him throw a better ball. I talked to him this week. He finally got back into the weight room because of that rib injury. He said it was the most important workout this week, working on the core. He said if you want to be a good passer, you've got to work on ab control. Look at Tom, look at Peyton, look at Drew. If you're a good pocket passer, you have good ab control.
Right on target to Olsen, and that's a first down to the 40.
You talk about ab control. He had it on this where he threw a dart to Greg Olsen. Gets that velocity on it. Gets that ball inside. Greg Olsen protects it. Makes sure he controls it. First down. Move the chains. And this is the Carolina offense that's produced for them the second half.
Play clock down to 3. They get it off. Newton rolling. And he is hit as he was going out of bounds. Is that going to draw a flag? Well, there's some bumping going on the sideline. Will Sutton with a backup quarterback. Looks like Derek Anderson down there.
The thing that you're trying to see is Cam Newton out of bounds when he gets hit here? I don't think that he is. Yeah, he has the intent of going out of bounds, but he's not out of bounds yet. So you're playing that ball through the whistle.
And contact was made before a step was out of bounds, so legal hit, no flag. Good no flag. 2nd and 8. Reeves to the 35. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 for Carolina, down by 3, less than a minute to play in the 3rd quarter.
See Mel Tucker signaling in that to their defense. And if Mel Tucker isn't the epitome of a defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears, I don't know what is. He is smash mouth, downhill, physical, grit. That's what the Bears defense is all about.
3rd down and 5. Blitz coming. And Newton is sacked by Stephen Paya all the way back to the 45. And that will be the final play of this 3rd quarter. And a play that appears to have taken Carolina out of field goal range.
It's for this situation. So if you go back, you're going to see DJ Williams here, both mugged up, him and Lance Briggs. But what they're going to do is they're going to shoot DJ Williams in this gap, ties up the center and guard. Look at Paella come around to really control the inside of that pocket so Cam can't step up. And you saw all those defensive ends forcing everything inside, keeping him contained, and really just collapsing that pocket in his face. Mel Tucker, great job on that 3rd and 5.
So now the Bears with a 3-point lead start this drive just outside their own 10-yard line. And they'll give it to Forte for a little breathing room, and he is wrapped up immediately by Dewan down at 2nd down. Davis step for step with Rosario. So a 3rd down and 9. Ball at 10 coming up.
And this is where Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator for the Panthers, and this team is licking their chops. This is the situation that you want to put an offense in, backed up in your own end zone. 3rd and long, crowd getting into it. They need a big stop here on defense.
Say this Bears makeshift line has done a pretty good job today. Cutler's only been sacked 1 time.
They really have. They've done a great job. And Michael Olack, that left tackle going up against Charles Johnson, has really held his own.
Only a 4-man rush. And look at Kuechly right there to drag down Forte. Boy, that guy is a money player, man. Obanaya in the backfield, breaks a tackle, stays on his feet, and that'll be a gain of tomorrow, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox. 24-21, Chicago in front. Obanaya again. A couple of yards shy of a 1st down, and we send it back to Los Angeles to Curtin.
He played for him for 10 years, but you know, he's a tough guy, demanding guy, but he treats everybody the same, regardless of if you're a rookie or 11-year vet.
Well, that had no chance. Great coverage downfield, rookie on rookie. Man, 3rd down and 3, and they throw the long ball. 4 of his 27 throws. They get 4 out of 28. Now Sean Zach Greinke pitching it. A dandy last night. Bullpen let him down, but the Dodgers won it late. There's a bullet to Jeffrey, and that's a first down at the 34. You know, you look at the numbers of Cutler, and you look at the numbers of the offense, and this is one of the things they've talked a lot about in Chicago. The number of yards is not the issue. They had 500 yards of offense against Green Bay last week. The issue is scoring points. They scored 17 against Green Bay. It was the first time since 1947 where they've had more than 496 yards of offense in a game where they lost. First down, nowhere to go. They had a couple of second quarter drives inside the Green Bay 10 where they only got a total of 3 points. Martellus Bennett got stopped inches short of the goal line. And, you know, the argument that's being made by some in Chicago is that, look, they're spending all the money on this team on the offense. So they are built to win games 31-28 if they have to. 35-31. I mean, that's hard to make a living scoring 30 a game in the NFL.
Especially when you're playing in the NFC against great defenses week in and week out. You can't rely on the fact that you think that you're going to put up 34 points a game and put up high statistical numbers like that, because each game is a grind. Each game is different. And we've seen what the formula for winning Super Bowls are. It's proven. Being able to run the football and having a physical defense that can create turnovers and pressure the quarterback, plain and simple.
All right, that incompletion makes it a 3rd down and 9. We are under 10 to go.
It's the biggest 3rd down of the game right here.
Well, they've got Godfrey locked up with Marshall in the slot. And now they bring the house. Bears pick it up, but too late. Chicago in front of Carolina, 24-21. Panthers start this drive from their 17-yard line. Take it to Reeves. Newton running. And, you know, he is still not running well at all. I mean, we talked a lot about that before.
Scared to wear pink.
No doubt about that. 2nd down and 7. Newton to a wide open Greg Olsen on the crossing pattern. And he's up to the 35. And a penalty flag comes in. Well, it looked like Jared Allen was straight politicking for that call, and he got it. Newton. And Allen dropped by Olsen. Boy, what a difference that is. Would have been a first down for Carolina up to the 35-yard line, and now they are staring down the barrel at a 3rd and 17. That's the only time we have called Jared Allen's name all day today. Now, granted, you got to remember this young man lost a ton of weight, came down with pneumonia, and clearly looks very, very light. He still does not have a single sack as a Bear this first year in Chicago.
I mean, as a defensive end, as an offensive lineman, a D lineman, you want that jersey as tight as possible.
Well, they pitch it inside to Philly Brown, and that did not fool the Bears' DJ Williams.
But what I was saying about Jared Allen, you could just tell. Look at his jersey, look at his body. That weight loss has really affected him today in this game. That's a
pitch it to Forte, and look who's hunting him down, Kuechly. Send it back to Los Angeles and Joel Klatt. Kurt, we're on the merry-go-round here. All right. Loss of a yard. And Cutler. Across the middle, over and through the receiver, and it's intercepted. And run out of bounds is Deku. And the mistake by Cutler has reared its head again.
Talking to this Carolina team before this game, both teams talked about turnovers, but last week, Thomas Deku had a big defensive pass.
That is Ogbonnaya on first down. And he's inside the 30. That'll be a gain of 3. 2nd down and 7. And now the clock becomes a factor. Carolina, all 3 timeouts. A field goal to tie, a touchdown, they take the lead.
And that's where them being able to run the ball successfully, keep time of possession on their side, and the ability to take their time, to be patient. Yeah, you want to have a sense of urgency, but there is no need to press right now.
Reeves now in the backfield alongside Newton. And Newton's going to run it. And he's just not the same runner right now, whether it's the ankle. Whatever the case may be, and that ankle was surgically repaired. I mean, this was one of the primary weapons in this Panthers offense, the dynamic Cam Newton, and he is just not running at nearly 100%, regardless of what anybody tells you.
No, I mean, you see him walking slow after getting up after these. You know, the boot that the Bears had to stop earlier, that's one he takes for 7-8 yards easily when he's healthy.
3rd down and 5. Blitz coming. And that's a straight drop by Benjamin, and he's looking for a flag. Cortez had a very quiet 2nd half. And the ball is loose. Carolina appears to have the football. They do.
You see Matt Forte getting to the edge. Antoine Cason is the one that comes up. Still pressing. He's pushing for those extra yards by Forte. He's able to get the ball out. And
as dramatic as far as the score, but as far as lack of production from the Bears offense again in the 2nd half of the game. Powerful running there by Reeves. I mean, they looked so good in the 1st half against Green Bay. Could do nothing in the 2nd half. They had 21 points at halftime today. They have 1 field goal in the 2nd half. And their defense has actually played pretty well.
They most certainly have. Their defensive has been giving them the ball. They've gotten them the turnovers that you need to have the production that you want to have on the offensive side of the ball. But we said it coming right out of half was after 21 points, enough off of those 3 turnovers.
This one a long way from being over. Reeves met head on. Strong tackling there by Chicago. Reeves lost his helmet. He's still looking around for his helmet. Big old Byron Bell going to pick it up for him.
I don't think Byron Bell is going to be able to fix that helmet with the amount of tape and clubs that he has in that hand. Look at the Bears defense. Yeah. Willie Young says you lost your bonnet.
3rd down and 3. This is an important 3rd down to keep the clock going if you're Carolina. The Bears, maybe you give up a field goal, but you get the ball back if you can get a stop, which they don't. 1st and goal.
We're going to see one-on-one Greg Olsen versus Tim Jennings out here. You're going to see Greg Olsen is going to use that, press him, snap off to that sideline. That's what you got to love about Greg Olsen. He may be the size of a tight end, but he knows every single route that wide receivers run. He knows how to run them himself. And it's paid dividends this 2nd half.
On 1st down out of the I formation, they give it to Reeves, and he may have lost a yard. And that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning. 2nd and goal. Newton to the back of the end zone and just threw that away. Tell you, Fuller has really done a number today on Kelvin Benjamin. The 2 rookies of the month offense and defense. Benjamin has 3 catches for 38 yards and has fumbled and dropped a couple.
Kyle Fuller's been having a great job and having a great season in every game. Right now, he's leading the NFL with his 3 interceptions and 2 forced fumbles as a rookie, and got him the Rookie of the Month for September. So it's not only this game. The Bears should be very, very happy with the draft pick in Kyle Fuller.
Well, they got Benjamin down there isolated on Fuller.
One-on-one.
And they go to their money man, Olsen, for the touchdown. Olsen has had a monster game. 72 yards, 6 catches, and a pair of touchdowns. But this one is not nearly over. Plenty of time for Cutler and the Bears. They have a 2-minute warning and a pair of timeouts. And he finds Jeffrey across the middle up to the 35. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Cutler a chance. 7 point.
We're going to get.
Four-man rush. Well, I mean, Kuechly has been shadowing Matt Forte as they've clearly changed up their scheme a little bit, as you pointed out, David, here in the second half.
They most certainly have. Early in the game, in the first and second quarter, they were really able to get it to Forte out of the backfield. They've stopped that the second half.
Blitz coming. They get it away. And that is Santonio Holmes. And where are they going to spot this football?
It's close.
That is the first down. Right at the 45-yard line. First catch of the game for Santonio Holmes. That'll stop the clock. 1:33 to go. Trying to thread the needle. Kaysen in coverage on Brandon Marshall. Second down and 10. It's good coverage by Kaysen.
Stepping up in the pocket, delivering it.
We welcome those of you watching the Giants and the Atlanta Falcons with David Deal, Laura Oakman, Tom Brenneman in Carolina. 31-24 Panthers. Chicago with a football. Second down. Cutler rolling. Sacked. A 15-yard loss. And the clock continues to run. And a timeout going to be called by Martin, star at Purdue University. Did K-Watt short. 3rd and 21. Cutler throws and nearly intercepted by Melvin White. Looked like it should have been intercepted by Melvin White.
Back to that one-on-one matchup. Santonio Holmes versus Melvin White. Gets his hands, gets him off him after 5 yards. Sits inside on that route. That close.
Well, this is it. 4th down and 21. The Panthers have 7 players. 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. Ball is loose. Panthers have recovered. And it's K-Wan Short who jarred it loose.
The left side of the line with Matt Slauson. So you're going to see TE twist. Tackle and twist. They're not going to be able to punch and pass it off. They try to man it. Short's able to get upfield, rip through that edge, get that sack, force fumble.
Well, there's nothing Cutler can do about that.
No.
Bears have turned it a Carolina story their last 2 games as they were just hammered in back-to-back games from teams out of the AFC North, the Steelers and the Ravens. But Ron Rivera Spent 14 years as a player and or a coach for the Bears organization. And this, his third try as a head coach, beats his former team. Final count of 31-24. Thanks for joining us. We're going to send you for bonus coverage to Philadelphia.